Hello everyone and welcome to this session. In this video, I will show you how to develop advisor plugin or precondition plugin. We will also going to test the plugin which I have already deployed on the server. Before watching this, I would recommend to watch video on plugin development environment setup. You can also follow my videos on plugin build and plugin deployment to test the plugin. Assuming that you have followed the plugin development environment setup, so let's begin. Firstly, I will explain you some theoretical part and then follow with plugin project creation and testing. So first is prerequisites. So we need plugin development environment setup, and second thing, we must have a Java knowledge. So in Java, it is mandatory that you must have core Java knowledge. Next, there are already two Java APIs available in RTC or CCM, and although they have much in common, there are differences that are important to understand if you want to use them. The following APIs are available. The first one is the server API that is used in the server part of RTC and JTS. The client API that is used by the Eclipse client and the plain Java client libraries. So server API will be included the server part of RTC or CCM application, and the client API will include the client part, that is Eclipse client part, and the plain Java client libraries. The server API is used by server extensions. Server extension must extend com.ibm.team.repository.service.abstract So server API will extend what? com.ibm.team.repository.service.abstract To get other services, use com.ibm.team.repository.service.abstract services of the class, providing a server service class. Note, the server services used must be entered as prerequisites in the server extension plugin.xml. The client API is typically retrieved by using com.ibm.team.repository.client.itm.team.repository.get client library of class, providing a client services class. Next, RTC server API. The RTC server API is used in extension to RTC that are deployed on the server. Example for this kind of extension are Operation Advisor, Operation Participator, Server Task, and other extensions that are run on the server. The RTC server API is shipped with RTC SDK that you set up to have an environment for development. This API is typically found in packages called com.ibm.team.star.service, and the interface are usually named as star service or star server. For example, work item server. So in this video, I am going to show you one of the example of precondition for save work item operation. So this will include inside which API? That is server API. We are going to use which API? Server API. And which operation we are going to use? Work item, save work item. Now, RTC common API. Part of the API are available on the client and server. The way you get the API depends on if you have a client or a server extension. However, the services are available as client libraries as well as services. This API is typically found in the package called com.ibm.team.star.common, and the interfaces are usually named as star common. For example, work item common. In some cases, the required services are provided by the extension mechanism. This allows to write some extension that run on the server as well as on the client. RTC client API is used in extension to any of the Eclipse-based RTC client as well as in RTC plain Java client libraries. This API is typically found in package called com.ibm.team.star.client, and the interfaces are usually named as star client. For example, work item client. The RTC client API is shipped with RTC SDK and partially shipped with plain Java client libraries. RTC client SDK. The reason for shipping the client API in the RTC SDK and the plain Java client libraries is really simple. You need it in the SDK to develop extension for the Eclipse-based RTC client. The SDK provides you with source code and allows to search the code in the Eclipse plugin development environment. So SDK will help you to search the code. Strictly speaking, you would not need the source code to develop the extension because the Eclipse client has a relevant part of the API already installed as plugins, and that is enough to be able to write extension. However, it makes development so much easier. The RTC client SDK also ships some internal classes and tests that you can use to find example for the API using. Plain Java client libraries. If you just want to run a small Java application to do some automation outside of the Eclipse client, you would need only the jar files for the API and some jar file that it depends upon. It would be quite some effort to identify the jar file in the Eclipse client unit, so the plain Java client libraries has the required jar files bundle for you to use. This makes setting up a plain Java client application you develop much easier. The plain Java client library ship only the documented and public API. They are missing a lot of RTC Eclipse client specific code. So what we can extend Eclipse based client also. JAR's SCM command line as well as the JAR's build engine and toolkit are Eclipse based clients that can be extended. You can find example for extending the JAR's build toolkit in this post from Groupin. The Eclipse extension mechanism works for all Eclipse based clients. Let's understand the difference between client and server API. Although you can often reuse the client API, some things are different in client and the server API. So you need to be careful. The services and the client libraries have differences in how they are called and what they provide. Creating, getting, and manipulating elements is sometimes slightly different in both APIs, and you might need data on the server and you don't have on the client and other way around. So let's check what we can extend and what we can allow access. The server API allows to extend the RTC server with operation behavior and event handling jobs and the like. Client API allows to extend. The JAR's build engine and the build system toolkit, the SCM command line, RTC Eclipse client, potentially any other Eclipse based client, the client API allows you to access. And the RTC server and the data in its repository part of the JTS server, for example, user and license management. So what are things that you can't extend it? That is, as far as I know, you cannot extend the Visual Studio client nor the Windows shell because both are not Eclipse based. So these are the references. The available extension points and operation ID are explained here. So you just open this. Once you open this URL, you will get to know all the operation ID which is available, and from here only we have taken the operation ID for work item save, work item serve, which I'm going to show you in this demo for saving work item. So I would recommend do not mix client and server API. You need to be really very careful to understand what client API is and what server API. Client API usually has client in the package name and you get the services with the get client library function call. Server code usually has server in the package name and you get services using get service function from the abstract service type you extend. There are some packages with common in the package name and contain common code that can be used on the client and server. Still, you would get the common classes using get services on the server and analogous client library with get client library on the client. If you mix the client and server API in a server extension, you might find it works in JT because that potentially has the client and the server part available in the SDK. But once you deploy the extensions on the server, it will not load because it can't find the required bundles. Same applies for client extension. These are references, what API is available in RTC and what you can extend. So I have referred this only. And for our below two are for process extension schemas which we actually needs to be used for advisor plugin. So this is preconditions. So let's understand what is precondition. A precondition is run before the process enable operation to determine whether the operation should be executed. If a precondition finds an error or a problem, the operation will not be executed and the problem will be reported to the user for potential remediation. You will not need to decide whether your precondition can be run client side or must be run on the server. The implementation behind a precondition is called an operation advisor and is specified using the com.ibm.team.process.client.operation_advisors extension point. The schema file for this extension point, operationadvisor.exsd, can be found in the schema folder of com.ibm.team.process.client plugin provided in source bit. So I'm not going to explain you the follow-up, what is follow-up actions. Here we're going to focus on only on the precondition. So what you understand from precondition, that it will going to trigger or it will going to throw error message before the save. Like it will not allow you to save the work item. So operation, like suppose I'm giving you example for work item because we are using the work item operation ID as a work item, save work item. So we are going to use the operation as save work item. Now next, so let's start with by creating a plugin project. So for creating plugin project, this all are dependency we needed, that is repository. We need repository command, repository service, work item command, work item service, then process command, process service. So these are extensions we needed. That is operation ID we needed is com.ibm.team.workitem.operation or workitem save. This operation ID you will get it from the operation ID references document which I have already mentioned. And here you need to mention the implementation class. So this is build configuration. Make sure these two are selected, and you need to verify in the manifest file should contain all these required bundles like repository common, repository services, process common, process services, and then work item common and work item services. And it should also import package org.eclipse.co.runtime, and it singleton should be true. So all the configuration will be listed inside manifest file. We will going to check how where these files will be included, all the project structure. So before understanding, like before creating project, I have explained you all the files which is available inside the plugin, inside our advisor plugin. So there is also plugin.xml file which will contain the schema, like this kind of schema structure is decided for advisor plugin. Like your extension point will be there, like your extension point is operation advisor. That means it is an advisor plugin, and we have also mentioned where this operation ID, like this advisor plugin will trigger, that is on work item save it will trigger. So we have mentioned the operation ID and next which class it is extending, so that is also mentioned over here. So let's start creating plugin project. So in this video we're going to focus only on project creation, plugin project creation, and in our upcoming video I will going to test this plugin, this text summary plugin, and even on we're going to try to test it on JD server as well as on the server, our local server. So let's start. First of all, you need to go to file, click on new, click on plugin project, Name, give it some name. Com dot plugins dot check summary. We are adding this plugin just to verify if some user put any hash mark hash inside the summary, then it will going to throw error it is not allowed to put hash mark inside the summary. So to handle those exception, we are writing this plugin. Show this error. com.plugin.check summary. This is our plugin name. Now click on next. Version we will keep it same only, and we're going to use Java SE 1.8. Now click on next. Click on finish. So first step is you need to click on this checkbox. Select this checkbox. Now save it. I'm just pressing Ctrl S in my Windows machine to save this file. Now second thing, inside dependency I need to add work item common, right? I will search work item dot common. This option will be visible to you only when your environment is set up correctly. So work item common, then afterwards work item service. com.ibm.team.workitem.service. We'll select this. Now I'm going to add SCM dot common and SCM dot service. And second is process dot common and process dot service. Now click on OK. Now click on Ctrl S. We are done with all the dependency. Let's verify this dependency also, that we have included all the dependency or not. I have already having this project. Earlier I have created it. Work item common, work item service, process common, process service, and we need to include repository instead of SCM. So I will remove this too. So we have already included work item common, work item service, process common, process service. Now we need to include repository. No problem if it is not coming, we'll try to edit from manifest file. Let's search for service. Sometimes for common it gives error. So for repository again we'll try if it is coming or not. Okay, now save it. Here you need to search it. This is the plugins. From here we are getting the audio dependency, we are adding it. Here you can verify it, all the dependency which you have added is available or not. If it is available, then it will easily able to search, you can will be able to search it. Yes, you can see process.com, and we have used it. And same 1.38, this version we have used. 1.31 we have used it. So from here you can search the dependencies. And now we need to import packages. org.eclipse.core.runtime. We got this, so we're going to select this and click on OK. Control S. Let's verify it once. Yes, org eclipse core runtime. Now move to runtime. Here we don't need to do anything. We don't need to perform any steps over here. Now go to extension. Here we need to do it. First of all, we need to search the extension point. So which extension we're going to use? We are going to use for work item save or work item operation. Then you need this operation ID. So you can even search by operation advisor. It will come. Operation. You see it is appearing over here, right? Operation advisor. Now click on finish. com.ibm.process.service operation IBM. com.ibm.process.service operation advisor. Now this name. Here what we need to do the changes here. Name is important, and this operation ID where this has to be trigger, right? So we're going to use the operation ID for save work item. So we're going to copy this operation ID for save work item. So this will throw error whenever we are trying to save the work item. It will not allow you to save the work item. Here you can put any name. It will appear inside the precondition when you're going to select it. This will be the plugin, your plugin name. Check summary. I can put check summary validation. And here you need to make sure this class name and next step which we're going to perform, it should be same like this. Whatever we are putting here class name, right? We are common value check summary advisor, and the extension that implementation that we are making it, right? It should be same. So these things you need to make sure. To here we will make as operation advisor com dot check summary dot, I'll put here val dot, so it will be little bit different, so it will not conflict with the existing what operation advisor. Here you can see in SSIC there is nothing available, but once I will save it and will create a class Here we need to do new extension service, and this you should make sure, see once it is same or not. This is mandatory for you to verify it. It should be same. So it is not same, right? So we're going to copy this. We're going to put it over here. Now save it. Now you can click on implementation class. It will be going to create it from here. So we are done it with one class creation. It is operation advisor. Now first what we will do, the one dependency which is left, we'll try to add it from manifest file. So let's, because we have already seen, right? Okay, manifest file will include all the configuration. So let's go to first manifest file and we'll check. Yes, singleton is there. It is also including all the execution environment is 1.8 only, and all the bundles included, except what is left here. It is repository common dependency is not available. So we're going to copy it from here. Control C. Right? Here it should not include this comma. We can verify it from here only. What all, is there anything missing or not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So we have done it. Now our next step will be, we have created the class, right? We need to write code over here. So first of all, we are done with this step. Extension point is not required as of now. Now for build, this will be automatically by default selected. Let's verify from here. See here, it is automatically selected. Manifest we have already verified, and then build properties, it will include this kind of structure. And plugin.xml, this extension point, this is ID, and this is name. So everything is correct, right? Now let's proceed with the project, this class creation. So we have already seen, right? Operation advisors extract abstract service and implements what? We have already checked it, right? It should implements I operation advisor. So I'm going to copy paste the same code. Control S. So we are done with the code, right? So let's check what we have written inside the code. This is operation advisor class, which is extending abstract service and implements of I operation advisor. So this is the run method, which is mandatory for you, which you need to write it, where this all parameters is mandatory. You need to pass it, and this I advisor info collector will going to store the your error message. So first what we are trying to getting the operation. There are lots of operation, like whether any operation which you are performing in CCM application or RTC, that is called as operation. Like suppose you are saving the work item, saving plan, or doing anything, like you are creating some branch, creating components, streams. So this all are what kind of operation, right? You are performing some operation. So first what we are doing it, we are getting the operation data. Then we are checking it whether this operation data is an instance of save parameter. Like, is it like say instance of save parameter means is it saving work item, save those things. So is it instance of save parameter? Then we are taking the auditable item and checking it whether it is work item or not. If it is an work item, then what we are doing it, we are fetching the summary value. So whatever value is available in that work item, we are trying to retrieve those. So from here inside the string, we are getting the summary value, and then we are checking if the summary contains hash or not. You can use another any other symbol also. If it is containing hash, then you need to throw this error message. It is illegal character. Sorry guys, illegal character, and the work item summary cannot contain character this. Now click on save. I have already deployed this plugin on my local machine, so let's test it. I will show you in another video how to debug and run from JT server. So for this video, I'm not going to consider it. I will going to directly test it. So let's go to that. So for testing, what you need to do, we are already done with the plugin project. We have plugin project. Now next step, you need to build the plugin. And for deployment, in second thing, if you're testing it on your local machine, then you need to deploy the plugin. So you can refer my video for plugin build, uh, plugin build and the plugin deployment before proceeding with the next step. Before proceeding with testing part. Now our next step will be, first of all, you need to log into CCM application and open any project area. I have already opened one project area, that is demo project area. And now here, once you open the project area, let's start it. I'm opening this demo project area. I have opened the demo project area. Now what I have to do it, I have to select this precondition and follow-up action. Now go to this precondition, save work item, because we have implemented the code for save work item operation, right? So this all are operation like save stream, request build. So this save we have already checked, right, whether it is an instance of save or not. The code we have written for save work item. So we're going to check it. I will remove this one. This is show you how to edit. It's our plugin. So first we will check without plugin whether it is allowing us to save with hash character or not. And after that, we are going to apply the plugin and check it whether it is allowing or not to save it, right? So what I will do it, I will go and open this explore project in another window, another tab. Now just wait for a second, it's still loading. We're going to create any work item. Let's create task work item. Now what we're going to do it, we have not applied the plugin, right? We're going to save the this task work item with hash. Now click on save. Right, it is allowing us to save it, right? Now what we will going to do it, we're going to add plugin. So here search for check summary. Here plugin is available, select the plugin. Now click on save. We have added plugin inside precondition and follow-up action and inside save work item server. Right? Once we have done it, make sure all user will not be able to perform this operation. Only admin can do it. The one who is having access. Now second thing, now we'll do one thing. We'll try to add something. Like suppose I have modified the file against and now I will try to save it. So it will not allow me to save it. Why? We have applied the plugin. So in this plugin code we have written, if summary contains hash mark, hash symbol, then it should not allow us to save it. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel.